evening. Welcome. There we go. Welcome to the stream. This is Rolling Swarm. I hope you're ready for a cracking evening of Blitz Esports. I certainly am. It's going to be a pretty short stream this evening. And what I'm actually going to do is I am going to do one overarching Battle Pass giveaway. Wargaming have been very generous. They've basically given us 10 Battle Passes for March to give away per tournament stream. So for this evening, I'm just going to do one flat giveaway, and that is going to be on the prediction of the scores. So the rules are 1 entry per person. All I need you to do is to predict who's going to win, whether it's going to be Immortals or Serenity, what the score line is going to be. Remember, I think this is a best of 7. So bear that in mind. It can be 4-something, 4-3, 4-3, 4-0. So who's going to win, what the scoreline is going to be, and this bit's important, your in-game name and the server that in-game name plays on. 1 entry per person. I'm only going to give battle passes away to people that get the prediction correct, and it's going to be on a first come, first served basis. So the first 10 correct guesses get it. And I'm going to keep the predictions open probably until the end of the second game. So you can make one prediction and you can make it now, and maybe your prediction is right and you're in the top 10, or you can wait and see what the score is after the first 2 games. Them's the rules that I've just come up with on the spot. But your first entry is the only entry I will consider, and I will go through the chat log meticulously, and I'll announce the winners of this giveaway and the previous ones I haven't announced on my Discord server later on. Link to my Discord server is in the video description, so do make sure that you go and check that out. We've got a good start. Tournament room invite will be out in about 5 minutes or so plenty of time. Plenty of time to go through some general housekeeping rules. There's not many people here with us to start with, which is pretty cool. I'm really sorry. I've put preemptively on a slow mode on the chat for the first time. 30 seconds, too painful. And there's also a subscriber only chat. So if you subscribed at least 7 days ago, you got the ability to chat. I'm sorry if you're here and you haven't subscribed. Or if you've subscribed within the last 7 days, this live chat won't be open to you. It's just so we can keep a tight handle on the moderation of things. And on that note, just a small point of order, do keep the live chat focused on Blitz and the Esports tournament itself. Should be pretty simple. These 2 teams have got, they've got a pretty awesome story getting here thus far. We've seen some huge upsets on the EU server in this Money Blaster tournament. We're down to the top 3. We've got First Alliance in the losers bracket, so we're only going to see this one fixture this evening. The winner of this fixture is going to advance to the grand finals. The loser is going to drop down and face First Alliance in the first fixture tomorrow, which is going to be covered live on Fujit's channel, I believe. Don't know if that information's public yet or not, but there we go. So we're just going to see one best of 7 fixture, and I've really got my hopes up for that. It should be really, really good. We've got some great people here in the chat already. We've got Henno Van Dam, Kerfuffles, Netforce, Bricks by Bricks, and the Ting. Hey Ting, hope you're doing good. And XS Suelsi. Oh, I can't pronounce. I'm sure I'm butchering the pronunciation there, but I have seen you around in the chat before. So welcome back, everyone. Games will be kicking off soon. We're just in my garage chilling while we wait for that. This evening, games are going to be Canal, Middleburg, Alpenstadt, and then Hellas. So it's a pretty interesting tiebreaker, Hellas. Although I don't know whether this is going to go to a tiebreaker. As always, I love a little bit of tension, a little bit of pressure for the teams. So personally, I'm really hoping, and also because we've only got one fixture this evening, I'm really hoping that we do go to a tiebreaker. That would be pretty cool. although I'm expecting probably for the decider to be on one of the Alpenstadt games. Personally, I'm leaning towards a 4-2 victory, which will see us play out the final game on the second Alpenstadt spawn. But you never know. Immo have done some pretty awesome stuff. They've knocked out some top tier talent end game, and they've also, let's have a quick recap, as it were. So if we have a look at the group stage to start off with, I mean, Immo put out endgame that in itself is pretty groundbreaking on the EU server. I need to load up all the groups. Here we go. Serenity have knocked out Turks and Reti. There's a lot of talent. This was the group of death on the EU server. First Alliance, we're not going to see them today, put out Jones. And Loka, well, Loka put out stuff Barter, but obviously what we know from yesterday's stream is that poor Loka, I've jinxed Loka in endgame. I've become Jack, I've become Wild One's helper, I've jinxed Loka in endgame. I was really, on the streams, I was really touting those two teams as the favourites. And so, let's see. They've both been knocked out. Loka beaten by First Alliance in a tiebreaker in the lower bracket semis. That's pretty tough out in the top four, but top four is still an awesome finish. Loka is still a dynasty on the EU server, as it were. This is not, of course, the last chance lane. Both of these teams are they've won their first fixture, so they come into this evening like this. The winner of this goes through to the finals. The loser only goes through to the lower bracket semis. This isn't a knockout game, but it's pretty keen, shall we say, in their campaign. Of course, the team that loses is going to have a pretty tough day tomorrow, Friday evening. That is to say the least. So, I'm just going to quickly type in the chat the rules of the giveaway. And what I will do is I will ask my mods to kind of keep this ticking over until the entries are closed. Typing away like a madman. There we go. Efficiency. Okay, we've done that. We've done our housekeeping. We've got 2 minutes and 40 seconds until we start, so I'm done showing you here. But this is the bracket. We're in the top four. Let's get to it. So let's just jump in now to. And this is, oh Jesus, what Egypt designed this? That's what I want to know. It's me. Spoiler alert, it was me. Okay, so here we are. This is the map that we're going into. Canal. One of my favourite maps, actually, it has to be said, when it comes to tournament gameplay. It's got a pretty standard formula. Everyone just checking. James Carty, he's close. He's almost got the guess correct. Yeah. So one of my favourite maps, and what I can do is I've got the little pinger here. We can expect, I mean, the standard format is North Spawn gives you the best options on AB, South Spawn gives you kind of a better approach and better options on CD. Looking at the lineups that we're seeing the teams taking here this evening, I mean, interesting to see Immort with Pigula in a Concept 1B, and they're also bringing Kenyon in a UV K9001P. It's a real mix of tanks actually from Immort. Serenity are a bit more, well, Serenity are being very bold. We saw Loka struggle versus Sparta their first 2 games on Desert Sands. There's going to be a big hit point advantage in the favour of Immort with this, with the fact that they are going up against a team that's got 3 light tanks. The hit point advantage could be as much as 2,000 in the favour of Immort, but on a map like Canal, the mobility that a triple light tank setup could bring to Serenity will be, could be very much, could be awesome. We've got Fojit spectating as well, and I believe, yeah, myself and Wild's here too. So the mobility elements of Serenity, backed up by a core quadruple 60 TPs, I'm not sure. Both teams have got options here, but Serenity are going to be the more mobile, fragile team, and they're going to have to use a lot of nuance to pick apart the Immort team. But Immort coming in hot and high off some pretty key wins. Let's get my face in the map out of the way, and we'll dive straight into the action. Immort. Oh, this is symbolic. Come on, Immort. Here we go, Immort versus Serenity. I'm touched, genuinely touched by that. That is pretty cool. Serenity versus Immort. If Immort have got matching camos, I will be blown away. Not quite. Close enough. Only so much you can ask for. Immort, red team, North Spawn, Serenity, blue team, South Spawn, Serenity, of course, being the light man's gambit. We've got Days in the Vickers. It's Magros and Ruben. Dismal Flightix getting tagged. Not a lot, but look at the hit point discrepancy. It's 2.5. It was over 2k in the favour of Immort. Kenyotsu taking a hit. But it's cost Sergio Ramos, but Serenity will have the cap lead. That's not ideal for Immort. With a lack of mobility, cap resets, rotations around the battlefield are going to be an option. Not going to be so much of an option for them, but bear in mind, Kakola, Balwan, and Social Credit are actually in IS7s, which are pretty, I mean, they ain't that sluggish. Days, big cap. Off on A. Serenity with good map control, cap control, and the triple light tank strat is working for them at the moment. Immort kind of making the mistake of keeping Serenity at range. Serenity want to engage at range. Now the main issue is Serenity don't have much in terms of holding power. 3 light tanks, 4 heavies. They're going to have to use a lot of intelligence to hold off Immort if Immort decide to barrel in, and Immort will have to barrel in, make no mistake about that. I think Immort kind of got caught out. They thought Serenity would commit hard to D, and Immort have committed hard to D, and the outcome of that is Immort's got a lot of heavy tanks passive in the backfield, which is not good because they can't be passive. Cap points ticking over aggressively in the favour of Serenity. Days just here chilling, looking for shots, lovely shots into Social Credit. Just chipping away at Social Credit. We're seeing just Serenity, blue team. Started off in the South Spawn, they're just adjusting their defensive line. If you have a look, we've got 360 TPs off to the right, 160 TP off to the left, and the 2 T100s kind of floating around at the back. Days at the very, very back, looking for some shots, trying to use that view range gun pressure intelligently. Immor, on the other hand, have counter-capped C, which is huge. And I don't really understand how Serenity could have let that happen, but they did. Looking at the cap points and caps now, the impetus has been switched. Serenity will need to be the team that counter-push Immor. And let me tell you, Serenity need to find isolated tanks like Pigula. And Pigula, well, is he bait or is he in a bad situation? That's going to be the question on both teams' minds. Serenity could push Pigula. He does have support from Coca-Cola and Social Credit. That's actually a nice spot. They can protect Pigula and the C-Cap from there. Bit of action here. Shrex getting into Ruben, but Shrex bleeding. Shrex in a lot of trouble. Shrex potentially going down if he doesn't get much support. I think Ruben will look for the kill. Ruben's going to push on Shrex. It's going to cost him. He might take one hit from Shrex, but that is the first man down. Boom goes the dynamite. And Immor losing Shrex in the Yo. T100, Upo having to pull back. Gun advantage, hit points neck and neck. Serenity have closed the hit points. They're still holding on to the cap lead with that kill, but they've lost. Pigula's down. Serenity in a very strong position. Serenity are losing B, but Balwan is vulnerable. He's kind of exposed in the middle of everything over here. We've got more action with Flight Ticks and Social Credit. Coca-Cola is down, and Immor's plan has fallen flat on his face, and I think Serenity will be able to ride this one out on cap points and mobility. Immor will need some pretty strong kills, but the only kills available is Ruben. It's a key bounce, but it lands. But Daze quickly tidies it up. Balwan low, Social Credit low. This one is for Serenity. Immor taking the low-hanging fruit and thinking that Serenity were going to play really aggressively on the medium flank, and Serenity actually didn't go out for D at all and got a strong map and cap dominance early on. Good counter push by Immor. Very good counter push indeed, actually. So what we saw, interesting, very interesting. what we saw there in the minute that we have, Immor committed really strong into D, but they had their eyes. They had 4 tanks kind of not really doing much here. They got the D cap. Serenity, really nice defensive formation kind of in this area here. Got A and C early. Immor were able to counter cap C, but then weren't able to hold on to the cap point advantage. They lost guns. They lost the Yo over here, and then, like we said, Concept 1B was just a little bit too isolated here, and then Immor kind of lost cohesion and fell apart, which was a real shame. They did have a pretty good approach, but it's really nice to see in this very heavy dominant 2022 meta, it's really nice to see a team like Serenity run a triple light tank strat efficiently against a quality opponent like Immor. 30 seconds to go, we're going back in, we're going to see Immor starting from the south, Serenity starting from the north here. Immor basically doing the same thing that Serenity did, but instead of 60 TPs, they're bringing IS7s. Serenity, I mean AMX instead of a Yo, they're sticking with a core of 60 TPs, but dropping one for an IS7, still bringing double T100s. They're gonna have pretty good options here. They're going to have actually pretty good options indeed. I've got a 3-minute delay on the stream. Net force, it's 3 minutes. It's a 3-minute delay. Here we go. Serenity leading in 1-0 in this best of 7 first team to 4 victories. Will take it and go to the grand finals. Loser drops down to the upper bracket semis to face First Alliance for the playoff for 3rd place and the 2nd spot in the grand finals. Immor borrowing a strat and adapting it from Serenity's playbook. Triple T100 LT, quadruple IS7s. It's gutsy AF, and there's actually not a huge hit point discrepancy, 1,100 and a bit in the favour of Serenity. Serenity being aggressive with Sergio Ramos. Good driving, hasn't fallen off the bridge. That's how you know he's a pro player. He's quickly in, but he is getting tagged. He's going to have shots on Kakalo, but it's bouncing, and we're seeing the hit points falling off both teams. Pigular and Social Credit in really a lot of trouble here. And I'm concerned that Serenity are about to lose. V7 holding 2, it's Pigular with the kill. And Sergio Ramos is the call. He's being targeted. He's kind of in a lot of crossfire options here, but Shrex will struggle to get the gun depression. Case in point. But Sergio is going to bleed, and that was a shot from Upo off Krupnik in the T100, so he's going to stay spotted for quite a while. Gun advantage. Serenity still with a hit point advantage. Big cap point advantage. More than a kills difference in the favor of Immor. Kakalo now in trouble. He's going to get pushed by Flytix. Flytix, the big 60 TP with a big boom camo, looking for a nice 660 roll, but he is being punished by Social Credit and Upo. Hit points now swinging into the favor of Immor. They're holding onto their guns. Kakalo, though, perilously low. Flytix coming back in for round 2, but it's going to cost him. Is this a trade he wants to make? Is he going to go for Kakalo? 50. 4 from Social Credit. HE just chipping away at the HP. Seeing Ramos also getting tagged. He's looking for shots on Kakalo. I think Serenity maybe tunneling the wrong tank there. Kakalo doing a great job. I hope I don't jinx him, of holding on in the face of adversity. Just getting spots in, but not giving away enough for the kill. C has been capped. Shrex with a great move. Immor in a strong position. 1000 HP advantage, 2 caps to 1 gun advantage. They can hold. They know it. Serenity know it. And Serenity clumped. We've got Sergio Ramos isolated potentially. Immor might look to shut him down. That could be a counter move for them, but at the same time, Immor don't want to throw away the advantage they have here. Magros rotating. Ruben die falls. Ruben, I'm just going to call him Ruben because that's easier. Getting, well, a little bit. That's a nice camo. Ruben getting a little bit of HE love, trying to peek on B. B is definitely not getting capped. Alfarito bleeding. The AMX50B is spotted and is going to get continually spotted by Upo in the T100. Kenny Otsu also with the T100. I think Alfarito is he's in so much trouble. He can't get safe and he can't get unspotted, and he's just going to be in constant danger. And Upo is looking for that kill shot, or at least looking to keep Alfarito spotted. Day is pushing. Upo connecting with Alfarito is just. This is the power of that Russian light tank. Oh, look at that! The power, you cannot get unspotted. You can't get safe. That DPM is ferocious. Day is counter pushing into Immor, but he might get a shot from Kenny Otsu here. It doesn't connect. He's shot in return. Day's pushing, and Immor are doing a really good job. Their hit points hugely in the favour of Immor. They're leading everyone. They're pushing in. Kakalo's down finally, but it's given Immor the impetus they needed. Ruben on fire. Shrek kill. And Immor have just done a wonderful job of using that Russian light tank tracer shot mechanic. Really nice. The 50B had no options there. I really feel bad for Alfarito. And Immor are very much in control of this game, and it will take a small miracle for Serenity to flip this.
Welcome to the swarm.
Days down to Shrex, and that is tying it up 1 for 1. Coming out of Canal. Thank you, Kerfuffles, much appreciated. Much appreciated. And I think if we have a look at the score lines here, Upo just doing wonderful things. Kenny Otsu, not so wonderful, but I mean still pretty key roles. Kakalo, though, would be my man of the match in that IS-7. That is a unsung heroes position. And that ties us up 1 for 1. Coming out of Canal, and if you predicted a 4-0 scoreline, I'm sorry, but you can delete your message. I'll see it in the chat logs, and you won't be able to enter, so you're out of the contest. At the end of the next... Well, actually, that's it. At the end of the next match, I'm going to be cheeky end. Bricks by Bricks asks a very good question. Who would I say out of the top 3 is the underdog? Well, this is the thing, actually. All of them are technically underdogs. Now, without being too critical, First Alliance, there's some question as to who's actually playing on the accounts, but it's all conjecture and hearsay. I mean, I mean, the thing is, like, First Alliance, I can't really commit to it. I would say probably if First Alliance are who we're being led to believe First Alliance are, they should win the whole thing. There's no question about it. I would say the underdog's actually Immortal here, probably. But given their performance thus far, against Endgame, against Loka, maybe Serenity. So, I mean, on paper, Immortal. On performance thus far, Serenity. If we discount what the rumour mill is telling us, First Alliance, basically the top 3 is just an underdog brawl to the death on the EU server. But certainly, we've seen some really good performances thus far on all the teams, and now we are going on to Middleburg, and it is Immortal red team, Serenity blue team. Serenity playing out of the south spawn, Immortal from the north spawn. Immortal with a quintuple IS7 double 60 TP, all heavy strat. Magros beat the only light tank on the field. Technically has the run of the mill, but we're seeing a lot of hit points traded in the city early on, and I feel like the light tank is just not the place to be. Hit points neck and neck, both teams bleeding. Flytix though seems to be catching a lot of the flak, because this is the issue with the 60TP. It's not a great side scraper. You do have to expose the drive wheel, like V7 has done there. And both teams just bleeding equally. A little bit of a slugfest. I feel like maybe some more intelligent positioning from both sides could have been favourable. Alpha Rito not in an ideal position, particular, catching all of the speaking about that, and that is, I said he wasn't in a good position, and he really wasn't. Hit points, I mean, they've got the gun advantage, but Immortal do not have the HP advantage. Caps A and B, no one's gone for C. Magros might be a key player here. If he can hold on to his HP, keep that high Russian light tank DPM in pocket for the end game, could give Serenity the edge here. Certainly he would be a great counter cap asset. He can come in, get some flanks in, focus the low HP tanks. He's going to look for social credit. Social credit could be going down to Magros. Magros will eat 600, but that's a missed shot from social credit. Social credit should have shot for days. It's not ideal. Kenny Otsu, big hits coming in here. Shrex is down. We've also lost Flytix. I feel like whoever comes out on top here, Kenny Otsu absolutely has to get the shot in, but he might go down. Oh, 620. This is very close. This is, I mean, it's 3-on-3, but no, 4-on-3. Carlo has got 12 hit points. I feel like the tank should spontaneously combust once it gets below a certain number, but here we go. Just holding on, and Magros is indeed the last man standing. And Immortal will have A and B, but do not be deceived. There is a possibility that Magros, with a little bit of intelligent gameplay, could edge them out here. He's a 2-shot. That's a mistake. He's in trouble. He's been spotted. Upo. Oh. Magros is, I believe he is, I think he may have done it a bit better than that. Oh! I feel like Magros gave up too early there. I think he did the hit points. They only had 1800 HP, two very easy one-shots, very fit for premium ammo in what I think Serenity could have pushed that. I think Magros actually, I mean, he probably, even if he played his damn hard out, he was probably still going to lose. But I think that is an example of a poorly timed throwing in the towel. I think Serenity, it was worth pushing that. Would have been an epic, a biblically epic carry. We're going back into Middleburg. Immel leading Serenity 2-1. Hey, Stin, good to see you. Biscuit's got the hang of it. Biscuit's predicting an Immel 4-2 win. Here we go. In for the fourth match this evening. Both teams playing pretty well. Immel bringing social credit in a mouse is a very controversial choice, given the dynamic nature of Middleburg. Do I think the bat chat is still viable in light tanking comp? We've seen it used. We haven't seen it excel bricks by bricks. I mean, you can take it and maybe some strats will work, but I think it has to be extremely strat specific, map specific, and I think most opponents at the top 8, top 4 level will punish you with a double back chat strat. We've seen it work though, we have seen it work. It's tough, it's very, very tough. Serenity, blue team, Northsport, 60p, 60GPs, IS7s, and nothing else. Magros finding the painful end of Shreks. Immel with a mouse, triple 60, triple IS7. It's that mouse tank. I don't understand why Immel have sent the mouse to sea. I've got so many queries about this as a strat. No light tanks here on the field. And that being said, Immel could have a pretty good edge here because no light tanks means C, once capped, is relatively safe. It's going to be a lot of time invested. It's a 1 kill cap flip. Serenity lead, but 1 kill would give it back to Immel. If Immel shut down a Serenity gun. C capped means Immel can commit aggressively into the city and not really worry about a counter cap on the C too much. It could work. We're seeing Pegula and Kenyaotsu, 60p and ISM respectively, holding up top. Pegula waiting to see if V's, well, he doesn't know, but waiting to see if Serenity will come up. Serenity do have V7 and Ruben threatening to climb the hill. Day is insulating left. We've got Magros, Sergio deep in the city, and even deeper still is Alpha Rito and Flytix. Shreks for Immel. Has the only tank from Immel to have taken some damage. Just a tickle. HP 800 in the favour of Immel. 2 shots, 1.5 60 TP shots. It's not bad. It's not bad at all for Immel at the moment, but they are in the cap deficit. The impetus to do something about the cap pressure is on Immel. Serenity, do they want to make a play for B? I don't think they could. Are Immel going to go for B, or are they just going to sweep? And I think actually, yeah, Immel might be playing sneaky gameplay here, because I think Immel might be rotating everyone round to the top left and ready to drop the hammer down onto Ruben and V7. The longer, well, there's an argument for doing things sooner and later. If you are the team trailing in cap points, we're seeing a very standoffish game here. Winning this would give Immel match point, and that would really pile the pressure on Serenity. Social credit though is the mouse, is the slowest man on the field. Among a field of heavies, that's quite an impressive feat, to be fair. Rubendis was briefly spotted, Magros is still spotted, Balwa is spotted. Serenity will have information. We're just seeing the teams juggling tanks, jostling for a sort of preliminary position to engage from. Now, the time's ticking. We're halfway through the game, exactly halfway now, more than halfway. Immo have got to do something. The longer they leave it, the longer they leave it, the more important the kill becomes. The sooner they do it, the better that cap will be. But there is the move. Here is the mouse tank. Social credit is safe, and Serenity have to expose. No one's covering social credit. Social credit could get HE reset. Oh, who put that table there? That's an HE reset. Lovely shot. HP in the favour of Serenity now, though. Oh, goodness me, I missed that. I have full overview. Days and Alfarito say good night, social credit. Days could be counter-killed, though, here. Oh, dearie me. Oh, dearie, dearie me. The pressure is now on. Immo must descend and drop the hammer upon Serenity. Serenity must knuckle down and survive. We're getting some FPS issues. That's always good to see. Immo potentially split. Counter cap coming in from Ruben. Pigula and Ruben going toe to toe. Day is still alive. This could be key. The counter cap though by Serenity is key. But there's also a counter cap from Shrex on A. Kakalo's down. I think Serenity will edge this one out. Pardon the turn of phrase. Kennyotsu having to fall back. It's close, it's very close. There's lots of one-shots everywhere. But Serenity do ultimately, they do manage to trump Immo, and I just, Immo maybe left that too late. And maybe just didn't commit hard enough to the city. I think they kind of overestimated the ability of the mouse on that there cap. AMP actually, sorry I missed that. The mouse started off up to begin with. That's true. When you take 7 heavies, one of your tanks, probably the one that you least want, is going to start on the traditional medium flank, which is a bit of an unfortunate conundrum. We're now going into Alpenstadt, of all maps, and it's been a pretty solid performance from both teams thus far. They've won a game each, first on Canal, then on Middleburg. We've seen both teams, no mediums, no TDs, big reliance on a core of heavies, dicing around with light tanks as an option. Immo and Serenity now meeting on Alpenstadt. Okay. We've got 20 seconds to go. I mean, looking at the lineups here, both teams, well, Serenity heavy with 1T100, Immo heavy with 1T100. A little bit more variation from Immo. They could have more flexibility going into this particular fixture, which could work in their favor. Actually, it will work in their favor, but the mouse tank again, is it a good choice? That's the question. And I don't really know. I don't know. Immo, the 1B, the mouse, the O's, the IS7s, not a 60 TTP to be seen. Serenity bringing 4 of the main meta heavy, new big old heavy hitter. It's Immor red team, North spawn, Serenity blue team, South spawn, tied up 2 for 2, going into the third map. First spawn on the third map. Anyone's game at the moment. Both teams evenly matched, to put it lightly. Magros, the light tank main for Serenity, doing well some light spotting work off A, deciding that actually he doesn't want any of that. We've seen some heavies being spotted, and he's just trying to get out of there whilst keeping an eye on who's coming in. Social Credit pushing. Magros is safe, and Upo in the mouse leading. Hit points in the favour of Serenity. They've actually flipped the HP advantage potentially by farming the mouse, and it's a good C cap. Ruben and Sergio getting off C, 60 TPs. The IS-7s went for C, the 60 TPs from Serenity firmly in the city, a tough anchor to shake. Where is the light tank? Magros rotating for Serenity through the spawns. Immor on the other hand, and again I see Immor doing the mistake they made in the first game, which is they're too far back, they're too passive with some of their elements. Now Kakalo, we know from we saw him on Canal, he can hold in almost impossible circumstances for an ungodly amount of time. Social Credit taking some hits. Social Credit really not holding as well as Kakalo, shall we say. Immor with some elements, they don't want to overcommit. Quadruple 60 TP is just inherently threatening. You overcommit and you overpush into the gun line of 460 TPs, you will cease to exist for them. Upo advancing cautiously, side scraping off the building, being very hesitant to push up. Hit points now very much firmly 1800 in the favour of Serenity. Serenity having a good holding position here. Alpha Rito, nice and hold down. He is backed up by Sergio, which kind of insulates 60p, high alpha, low rate of fire. He's vulnerable to kind of getting swarmed in such scenarios. He's not the easiest tank to shift, though, to be fair, but having an IS-7 behind you does buy you a lot more time. Serenity digging in, they've got a fractional cap lead, but it's the hit point lead that's working in their favour here. And I've got a really good feeling. About this for Serenity. They are in such a lovely position in terms of the tanks that they've got and the holding pattern they have. And even, well, my main question is, now the 1B, concept 1B, tremendous DPM. Worth bearing that in mind. Really strong DPM, very strong hold down, this kind of OP, very tough to hit, let alone pen turret head on at the very least. Now he's quite far back sniping, but I mean he will need to sort of be on the front line using that DPM. We're seeing Serenity getting chipped away at here. Alpha Retail, Days, Sergio all bleeding, shrinking that HP cap a tiny bit. I mean, it's still in the favour. The Yos, that Shreks and Balwan, outputting, well, not as much damage as they would have hoped for to V7. V7 just managing to get safe, and he's actually quite not fortunate, but playing well to not eat more damage from two Yos offloading their clip into you. Still a 1600 HP advantage, and we are seeing a big move here. Aggressive play from Serenity, and are they going to consolidate Flytix and Sergio? Well, Flytix and Days have got the caps, they're pushing onto Shreks, and Upo's in trouble. Upo might be going down here. Upo
hold on. Wait a minute. Super chat detected.
Optimus Prime. Thank you very much for the donation. That is rooting for Immor and Kenny on Super Day. Optimus Prime from Spotter, and it's worth noting that Immor put Spotter out, so huge kudos to the man for supporting Spotter, and it is a strong win for Serenity on the first map of Alpenstadt. My goodness me. What a win. I mean, I think Immor, I can see what Immor are trying to do, and I think it is this shift to clever gameplay that is costing them. Again, what we saw here from Immor, they had a lot of heavy tanks on A, when actually like Serenity were really concentrated on BC, but Serenity used their light tank quite well. The light tank for Serenity bought a lot of time here. He traded time and distance super efficiently, and Immor didn't hammer in through here, and that gave Serenity time to consolidate the city. And it ultimately, Immor bled a lot with the mouse on this particular. I mean, the mouse really bled here, and even one of the IS-7s from Immor bled here. Serenity trading efficiently, using the light tank to trade distance for time rather than damage, and that pushed Serenity into a really good cap advantage. And the quadruple 60 TPs, Immor didn't take any 60 TPs. The Yo is great, it's got good burst damage, but in a city, if you want to peak and trade efficiently, one shot for one shot, you bring a 60 TP. Serenity bringing 4, Immor bringing none. It really, the kind of the finickiness of Immor's strategy worked against him. Serenity kept it simple, had a pretty simple game plan, but they executed it perfectly. Lovely to see. We're going back into Alpenstadt. It's Serenity on match point now, leading Immor 4-3, but we've seen these teams go 1-for-1 on each map. So maybe, just maybe, we'll get that tiebreaker. Yes, sorry VIP from Legion, you ask a very good question. It is because I am actually, like, if you were in the room with me, I would be whispering, and I've done all of the dark magic shenanigans of mics and sound filters and sound gates, so that, like, it doesn't sound like I'm whispering, but my voice is super weird. So, apologies, yes, my baby is sleeping, my little toddler, and that is why I sound like Geralt of Rivia. I wish I sounded like Geralt of Rivia, I wish. Immor, red team, south spawn. Serenity, blue team, north spawn. Serenity on match point. Immor, bleeding. Balwan and Keniotsu out of the gate. Not great. Keniotsu getting tagged. Lovely gameplay here from Serenity with Magros, Ruben. Sergio's getting the cap on A. Immor might get the double cap here, but they're almost 2k HP behind. No damage inflicted, apart from Magros getting hit as soon as they said no damage inflicted. But Serenity up by 1500 HP despite having 2 light tanks to 1. However, Immor now. Immor with 2 caps to 1. Can they hold on to B? And Immor being very passive. Is that going to work? Does Ruben have the ability, the angles to cap? And I think the answer to that is not so much. But he's gonna give it a go. Doesn't connect with Balwan. This B cap for Serenity is going to be perilously key. I mean, Ruben's decided actually, yeah, that's not going to work. Who can blame him? Hit points 1300 in the favour of Serenity. Magros, though, their only light tank is 60 TP one-shot territory. Max roll for a 60 TP is 750. One good shot could remove Magros. He is now engaging at range, which is an intelligent move. It has to be said. Yusuf, good to see you. No worries about being late. I'm sorry you missed the games, rather than we missed you. Immor, with the caps ticking over in their favour, and Serenity. This might be going to a tiebreak here. We're seeing Ruben pushing in to C. We're seeing a counter cap on B, and Serenity just kind of going absolutely everywhere. Social Credit might be making a play for A. I'm not so sure, but that might work actually. if Kakalo can stay safe, and Shrex is doing a good job of insulating. Lots of hit points flipping in the favour of Imor here. Pigula just needing to stay safe, doesn't manage it. That's key, that is brutally key. A getting flipped, C getting flipped, B already flipped. Baowan low. Down goes V7, and Imor, well, Imor just need to ride this one out. Shrek's going in for B. Imor have this. No, they don't. Kakalo. Kakalo has to hold on. Does he go down? Does someone have the kill shot? Does someone have the kill shot? No, they do. Oh my goodness me, I can't keep up. Serenity and Imor. Back and forth. And the problem with Alpenstadt is that it's such a wide corridor and there's so much terrain and buildings in the way that it's difficult to keep track of all the little micro balls breaking down. And Imor edging out Serenity in a heavy engagement, and we do, yes, we absolutely do get that tiebreaker. In Jesus be praised. Onwards we go to Hellas, and what a map for a tiebreaker. What a map for a tiebreaker. This is, oh come on. Oh man, I love it. I absolutely love it. Imor and Serenity tiebreaker on Hellas of all maps. At least it's not Castilla. At least it's not Castilla. But come on, this is going to be epic. Worth bearing in mind though, this is the only game we're going to see this evening. The loser, I say only, is going to drop down and face First Alliance in the upper bracket semis. Or the lower bracket semis, I'm not quite sure exactly what it's called, but basically the loser of this will face First Alliance for the playoff for third place, and the winner of that will go through into the grand finals. So this isn't a knockout game, but you better believe the pressure's on. And I mean, if we get these two teams again in the grand finals, in a best of 9 in the finals, that would be amazing. Less than 30 seconds to go. We're in Hellas. We're going to see Imor playing from the north and Serenity playing from the south. I don't know if there's any specific flank advantages from either of these spawns in a comp setting, but having a look at the tanks that are getting taken, Serenity are going all out heavy. 5 60TPs, 2 IS7s. Imor are doing that nuance thing again that I'm not so sure about. They're bringing, well, the T100, I can see the viability of it, but a Yo, a 1B, a VK90 or 1P blade, come on, that's a lot of variability, that's a lot of different speeds and assets to juggle. Can Imor make this diverse lineup work in the face of Serenity's very, 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 very sensible heavy meta lineup of IS7s and 60TPs? It remains to be seen. My goodness me. Free cam going at 0 miles per hour. Serenity for the last time this evening. Blue team and North spawn. Imor red team. No, Imor red team, North spawn. Serenity blue team, South spawn. Serenity with a pretty solid 800 HP-ish lead in terms of hit points, and they're quicker with that lead into A. Imor do send in Kennyotsu into B, but it's going to be a good 30, no, not 30, maybe a 25 cap point lead. Oh, yes, it's a 25 cap lead. Oh, it is 30. It is a 30 cap lead for Serenity. Imor on the back foot. Kennyotsu bleeding. Oh, damn. VK is a good tank, but I mean, it bounces in public matches because people are not terribly good at aiming. In comp, the weak spots the tank has can and will be found by the pros. Ruben pulling back. Sergio in the 60TP. Sergio and Ruben seem to be like a little bit of a duo off on one flank together. They're covering A. We're seeing Ibrahim and Days Alfarito off mid with Magros and V7 in the backfield. Imor trying to get C. The question is, do they get it? And the answer is yes, they do. Huge gutsy call from Immor to spread the numbers. Serenity not reacting, and actually if you look at this map, it's quite spacious and it takes a lot of time to get from one place to another. And Immor have capped off B and C, but they are spread out. Both teams actually spread out quite aggressively. Ruben trying to go for B. Can Kennyotsu hold B? And actually, if you have a look here, the answer is yes. Ruben would be a fool to push. Sergio is spotted. Sergio is pushing. Oppu in the T100 may have to do a lot of work to keep Kennyotsu. And the B cap in the game for Immor. Immor could play an aggressive strat over C. They've got 3 stacked over 2. Shreks 4. No, 3. Shreks. It's Kakalo. Kakalo's a tank that I missed. HP 1000 in the favor of Serenity. Kakalo getting tagged by Ibrahim. Immor will find V7. There's a bit of HP falling off either team here. Immor with the caps. Serenity making the aggressive play onto C. Big hit into Balwan. Pigula getting shielded. Alfarito going for Balwan as well. We're going to see Ibrahim coming into the back of Balwan. Balwan! Oh, it's a big miss! Social credit tagging. I think we need some better focus for here. The VK Kennyotsu is down. It's looking good for Serenity. They need to squeeze this flank from Immor. Down goes Balwan. It's a 2-gun advantage for Serenity. Serenity countercapping C. Pigula in trouble. Shrek's in trouble. Serenity consolidating their forces on C. Looking to shut down guns. Sergio is down as well. It's close, but it's not that close. Serenity have got a good hit point advantage on top of the gun advantage. They're also dominating C. Pigula's down. And Serenity look to be on track to go to the finals. It's not over yet, though. Do not mistake this for game over. Immor going down swinging. It's 5-on-3. Social credit looking for low hit point tanks. Doesn't really have any options. Alfredo trying to shield V7. It's a good effort. It's good work. Big hit from Serenity. It's now a 2-on-5, and this has got to be, surely this has got to be Serenity going through. Ruben looking for the kill shot on Kakalo. Oh, and the light tank denies him. It ain't over. We could see some huge gameplay from this light tank. Kakalo has to stay safe. Serenity will lose on the current cap clock. They have to counter cap A or B. Upo might make it. If Upo can get a kill, Upo could go for that low hit point daze. It's still in it. He's still in it. Magroz pushing. Keeping an eye on the minimap. It's close. We're going to see Magroz in. This is the issue. This is where it's going to happen. Kakalo. Oh, it's a full HP tank. Immor! Immor have it! Oh my god! Serenity too slow off the trigger, and Immor squeezing through the finest of gaps into victory. Oh. Incredible gameplay, incredible cap management by Immor. I don't believe it. Serenity will be, they were dominant in that game in terms of trading, mechanical gameplay, positioning. They just miscounted the caps by a fraction of a second. I am entertained. What a series. Oh my goodness me. Well, without further ado, let us go through and see. Let's go through and see. Immor are through the grand finals of the 2022 Money Blaster tournament. Well deserved. They have sent Loka to a lower bracket. They have knocked out Endgame. Immor have defied all expectations this season. It is truly incredible to see. Serenity, I mean, they took him to a tiebreaker. But it's worth bearing in mind that First Alliance also took Serenity to a tiebreaker. Now, tomorrow's games, the grand finals, is going to be a best of 7. Serenity versus First Alliance, and then there's going to be a best of 9 winner of this fixture versus Imor. So tomorrow is going to be awesome. You can follow all of the action. Of course, the links are going to be shared by Wargaming. All of the action is going to be covered by our amazing commentators, Fujit on his channel. He's going to have, I think it's Wild One's helper backing him up in the commentary booth. There might even be Every as an analyst, or maybe Amonet. I don't know the exact details, but some amazing coverage of the grand finals tomorrow. Like, I am so looking forward to watching that. You wouldn't believe. But we have had what an amazing series of games this evening, going to a tiebreaker. As someone who loves Blitz Esports, as something to watch, and especially, I mean, I really enjoy commentating. I couldn't have asked for a better series tonight. Huge kudos to both teams. Big congratulations to Imor to going through to the finals. I mean, congratulations to Serenity for playing so bloody well at the end of the day. And I really wish them the best of luck versus First Alliance in their first fixture tomorrow. And I'm rooting for a Serenity Imor grand final, I've got to say. So, what an absolutely cracking evening this has been. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm not streaming tomorrow, but Fujit and Wild Ones will be. I'll be joining you in the live chat in the comment section for that, to follow it. I'm really looking forward to it. So thank you for tuning in. I will go through the live chat and we'll get those battle passes out to the winners, and I might use some discretion and throw some out to some worthy people that have been positive and constructive in the live chat. So yeah, really good, really cool. I will catch you all tomorrow on Fujit's live stream for the grand finals. This is Rolling Swarm signing off. Have a good night. Ciao for now.